Hey folks, over here at NAU, at the South Village Apartments, the dorms, and we're made to live here. It's not like we get to pick and choose where we live when you live in the dorms. This is a broken washing machine. This is a washing machine that's done, still not emptied. Washing machine still going, still going, still going. Still going is not the commonality. We just have 14 machines that are done with their wash and have not been emptied, and that would be a solid number of 14. And then we have this one that is out of order, and so that's the current situation, and that's how disorganized things are here. And the CAs are not able to do anything. They escalated to their supervisor. That supervisor escalated to the next person, and nobody has been able to come to some sort of solution where people don't just abandon their laundry in the washing machines. And when I asked for help, I got a really condescending, this is a community center. We try not to touch other people's things. And when I said, well, this is a common issue, can we please do something about it? Their response was, well, it's Sunday, it's a really busy day. It doesn't matter if 14 machines are being used and not being, put in the dryer or not being sorted out in time. And their solution was absolutely nothing. Their solution was just to tell me, well, we'll send email reminders, we'll give people a phone call. And I'm like, no, a shit ton of people live here. This is a bad situation, and it's a bad right now situation. And so they called their supervisor, and their supervisor basically hemmed and hawed and went around in circles and did absolutely fucking nothing. And I got a very condescending, well, we try not to interfere with other people's belongings. But, we're made to live here, and these people can't even keep their fucking laundry done. The rare case is it's a washing machine that's going. The most common case is it's a washing machine that's done and with shit just abandoned in there. And their solution is to maybe send emails later, not do anything right now. And they're advocating very hard against just putting shit in grocery bags and labeling them and setting them next to the machine because they're scared to hurt people's feelings. But the outcome of that is everybody else that lives here at South Village dorms at NAU, a gigantic fucking dorm complex, cannot finish their laundry. And I just wanted to make a video of that and take explicit note of it and notate how condescending and basically unhelpful the CAs have been. The lady that made the phone call to her supervisor, despite my respect, despite my candor, despite my polite tone, was not willing to have a phone call in front of me. She's like, I'm actually going to step outside. And so she stepped outside, and her conversation outside was to the effect of, well, he's concerned that it's one person using 14 machines, which is not my concern. My concern is being able to do my laundry, right? And so she just completely miscommunicated the issue until I stepped out and corrected her and said, hey, actually the issue is people just aren't taking care of their shit and they're just leaving things abandoned, and we have a couple machines that are out of order. And so I just needed to document that because if I'm forced to live in a shithole again where some really immature folks can't handle their laundry on time, well then I think that information should be passed along. It's a huge difference if something gets finished in the nighttime and it gets abandoned to the next day. Not many people are up late doing their laundry, not to the effect of it being detrimental to everybody else. You have a ton of machines empty at night, but when it's the daytime and somebody several people, it doesn't fucking matter, just ditch 14 machines. It's something worth noting, and it's something worth saying something about. And in my opinion, it's something worth doing something about. Doing something more than just sending emails, making some washing machines available to everybody else. Nobody likes a shit roommate, and nobody likes a plethora of shit neighbors. And excuse my language, I'm just being vivid here. It's not really that huge of a deal. But, something obviously needs to be done, and it needs to be something beyond sending a cute email and being cutesy to the person that's been waiting around for an hour for, a bunch of empty machines, a bunch of finished machines to be empty. And, just something worth putting out there, whether it be, some sort of idea of a stupid prank where somebody's like, I'm just going to use all the machines and not let anybody use them, whether it be immaturity, somebody not handling their shit. There's just no excuse. Things happen. Sometimes you leave one machine full for a full nighttime, but for somebody to do it to every single machine It's just obnoxious, and now there needs to be some sort of system, right? Because people weren't mature enough to just handle it on their own. There needs to be some sort of system where it's tagged and you have a name on there or a number on there, and a CA can be noted or notified that, okay, such and such number machine with such and such name tag on it is finished and has been finished for so long, and nobody's handling their shit. And that's just an idea. There are many solutions out there, but I think probably the shittiest solution possible was to have a phone call outside where you completely miscommunicate the issue, and where you absolutely come to no sort of beneficial solution except, tabling the issue until later, tabling the issue until it isn't Sunday. I understand everybody loves their Sundays off, but if you have a job as a CA, you need to be mature and you need to handle your shit, and you need to be able to say, this is a fucking issue. People live here. This is a daily life issue. This isn't some sort of non-necessity. People need to wash their clothes. People need to wash their shit. And it's information that needs to be escalated, right? I had to basically tell this lady 5 different times this issue needs to be escalated. All of the machines are being used, and most of the machines are finished with their wash cycle. I had to tell her 5 times, please escalate this issue. Because in her mind, she just wanted to probably go back to her dorm and kick back, and she didn't want to bother the guy that does have an on-call phone number on Sundays. And so I hope that communicates my frustrations, concisely. I think I've explained enough, and I think anybody that is forced to live in a certain complex by certain people in a little office on the north side of NAU should have, certain rights and certain ability to make a quick complaint and have some sort of speedy and effective response to an effectively huge issue. And somebody just came by an hour late and emptied 4 machines, and I think you might be able to see why that might be an issue, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 machines that just got emptied an hour late, and I think you might be able to understand why that could be frustrating to everybody else on a Sunday. So what I'd like to advocate for is some sort of system of removing things from washing machines when they are done, a polite system, grocery bag, trash bag, a name tag, a number put on the machine, a number put on the bag. That's a possible solution. I'm sure you can come up with other similar solutions. And I'd also like to advocate for a more effective and speedy and less condescending response from the person who is on call when somebody notifies that CA of an issue, and that CA has no near-term solution for a problem that needs a near-term solution. They shouldn't take this kind of a conversation. These sort of systems should be in place, but I get it. It's kids living amongst kids. It's kids leading kids. It's a much lesser version of Lord of the Flies, the blind leading the blind. And so something does need to be said, and this issue does need to be addressed. It's not like it's some sort of luxurious condo with a bunch of butlers. I get it. I respect these people and what they do, but this is a small issue. I'm not saying anybody should be guillotined. I'm just saying this is a small issue and it needs to be addressed. And when I tried to address it, I did not receive an appropriate response. I received condescension and begging me that she could take that phone call outside. And when she did take that phone call outside, where I followed her, she completely miscommunicated the issue and made it out to be me complaining about one person using 14 machines, when in reality it's God knows how many people using 14 machines and abandoning their laundry. We're all kids, we're all learning together, we're all growing up together. It's not that big of a deal. What is a big deal and what does need to be addressed is the fact that there is no system, and the fact that the system of reporting an issue and having that issue addressed has not been effective. And all I got was a condescending response wanting to table the issue till later because it's Sunday and nobody wants to deal with this shit. Fact of the matter is, your job is to take care of issues. That's why you're on call. I don't care if it's Sunday. I think a more appropriate response than "can't I do this later" should have been issued. Life happens. I don't know if that person was on their period. I don't know if that person was having a lazy Sunday, but to be honest, I don't really have the leeway to give a shit. That's machine number 5. I don't have the leeway to give a shit. I just need to say something and have that something sorted out. So thanks for listening, folks. Sorry about the tone of anger and frustration in my voice, but I think you can understand why some things might be an issue and why there needs to be a better way moving forward than jack shit at all. Thanks for listening.